right, guys, that was my poor sound effect of leaves, golden leaves falling down from the trees. But anyway, it is time for our official 2019-2020 fall outlook, and I'm about to unveil what this map here means in a second. But first, hit that subscribe button if you like daily forecasts, weather forecasting tutorials, extreme weather events. Hit those bell notifications because we do go live sometime as well. And if you have any content that you're willing to submit, like photos or videos, we're going to start sharing that as well on the channel. Make videos over those as well. So let's get right into it. Just message me on YouTube, by the way. So let's get right into it here. This is the fall overview. This is generally what I'm thinking from October through December. This is going to go from October 1st through December 1st. Not sure how everyone else does it, but this is how we're going to do it over at the old Weather Decoded channel here. And this is generally kind of an overview map of what I'm looking at. And then we'll go into the precipitation and temperatures here in a second. So what's going on here? Well, what we're looking at here through December, it's going to be kind of a transition to a neutral phase, and we'll go over that in a second. But I think what we're going to see is wet early up here. You're also going to get an early batch of snow and cold out here in the northwestern United States. This is going to be very early, but it's going to flip, I think, towards mid-October. And really what's going to happen is it's going to kind of warm up everywhere. And that might stay that way for a while until we get towards mid-December, where another pattern change could occur. And I think finally we'll get the neutral phase with cold air in the east part of the United States. But anyway, so this area wet from southeastern United States, mostly warm. Early snow up here in the northwestern United States, transitioning to warm after that. Rainy and warm for the most part in the southwestern United States. The southeastern United States, kind of warm and trending wet as we head towards winter. It's going to be dry early, but it'll start to pick up steam as we head towards the winter. Very active tropics here in the southeastern United States. Obviously, that's been the case. There's going to be at least a storm or two more that tracks up in this area with that favorable warm waters. Now, warm, just generally warm and kind of boring here in the interior northeast in the Ohio Valley. But that'll change in the winter. If you haven't seen my winter forecast, check it out. It's a lot more exciting. And then we got the central U.S. here, wet and warm with temperature swings. Temperature swings in the northern U.S. as well. And so I think above average precipitation in this area in warmer conditions. For the most part, warm across the United States this fall. Here's your temperatures. This is going to be your anomalies. This is above over here. This is below over here. And this is each of these represents a degree. This is actually in the Fibonacci sequence. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 5, and then 8 degrees above average, and vice versa. So this yellow area generally going to be about a degree above average. So only slightly above average. So mild to slightly above average. It's going to be warmer than average, though. Southern half of the United States through the northeast, it's going to be moderately above average, about 2 degrees or so. And then down here, kind of in the south central into the southeastern United States, it's going to be moderately above average with temperatures around 3 degrees above average. There's going to be a lot of ridging here and zonal flow that's going to be responsible for that in the jet stream for the most part. Again, these are averages. There's going to be some cold blasts that come in from time to time, but this is spreading it out through 90 days here. So that is your temperature outlook. Now, precipitation. Above average for the central U.S. here and extending out into the southwestern United States, there's going to be a decent amount of storm systems that track up here that could deliver some decent precipitation for the northern United States, also some precipitation in the southwestern United States, and then also out here in the west half of Washington. There's going to be some ridging, and I think you're going to get some waves as well that crash up into the shores right along the coast of Washington, and that'll kind of move inland. And then also, if you live in Canada, I think you're going to have above average precipitation up there, but that's fallen off the old map here. And then the southeastern United States, especially towards later as we get towards December, okay, late November to December, I think that area is going to pick up in precipitation. It's actually going to pick up here as well, but it's going to be dry early in the season there. And so that's why it kind of just averages out here in the southeastern United States. So that's what that's looking like. Now, snowfall-wise, this goes through November 1st, so not the whole fall, but if you haven't seen my other videos, I'll just review this real quick. This area has got the most uncertainty. Okay, we're dealing with snowfall amounts here in advance, so you know you got to be careful with this type of stuff. We usually look at patterns like temperatures and just general precipitation, but these are actually in inches. So again, this is a long-range forecast, so be careful with these snowfall amounts. This area there's uncertainty, but there could be some decent snow there with a snowstorm that could move through the area in early October. If you're watching this after October, most of this other stuff looks to be relevant here in the northwestern United States, with generally some decent snow in the mountains, potentially over a foot. Again, this is all going to fall really early in October. So that's going to be your most of your snow is going to fall early in October in that area. And then it's going to be kind of boring after that. Not going to go into the snowfall amounts for November, December, but in general, slightly above average for the Washington area. So it's going to warm up, so I think less snow in the rest of October into November for that area. So that's kind of what the snow is looking like through November 1st. I also wanted to go over the fall colors as we head towards the fall. So this is a model that I found, I believe it's on SmokyMountains.com, that predicts the fall colors and when the peak season will be. So here's your, your colors or your peak season here in the lower left right-hand corner here. And you can see that the red areas are near peak, the yellow areas are patchy or minimal, and the dark red areas are past peak. So the oranges and reds are the things you're going to want to look for when we're dealing with peaks here. And this is September 28th. You can see the far northern U.S. and parts of the Rockies are under their peak right now. So those aspens starting to change. Now, as we head towards the 12th, that line moves south into the southwestern parts of the United States, and then a little bit farther north as we head east on the 12th. The 19th, it starts to move even farther south. The peak color is going to be probably in Nebraska, Iowa, the Midwest region and farther north. Probably a little bit past peak as you get farther north into New York, Maine, all those areas. Then you go towards the 26th. Peak is really across most of the middle part of the United States, and then the extreme southwestern United States. We go towards the 2nd of November. It really starts to build to the south. Again, still some pretty good colors out in the central and southern plains, the southeastern United States. On November 9th, it's mostly in the southeastern United States. 16th, same thing. 23rd is pretty much past peak everywhere, except for the Gulf Coast where it's at peak. And then the 30th, it's at peak as well. Now, I know not every color or tree changes colors down there, but this is for the trees that do change. And the best area to view colors this year probably going to be in the Ohio Valley region in Michigan. And then also the northern plains, particularly the east half, where there's been some pretty good precipitation this year. Maybe in parts of Washington as well. Pretty good precipitation, pretty good moisture, and also some very favorable conditions. And I've actually read some articles that could be a once-in-a-decade type of a fall event, especially for the Ohio Valley and into Michigan, where typically the colors are the best anyway. So that would probably occur as we head towards mid-October. Go back here. Probably around the 19th or so, 12th, 19th. Probably going to be pretty good up there, maybe in the 26th. It's going to be warmer this winter, so I'm not sure if this model factors in the warmth, but I would look at your average fall color peak, maybe add on a week or two due to the warm conditions, especially in the east southern parts of the United States. We're going to go over the pattern next here in a second, but comment below, where do you get your main source of weather info? I'm actually kind of curious where everyone kind of gets their main source, because I'm just not 100% sure, because the opinions vary quite a bit, and some people love certain things and don't like other things. So anyway, let's get into the pattern, and we're going to look at the CFS, and this is early October, and we'll look at the end zone, all that. You can see a negative P&A here setting up early in October, and that's why I said it's going to be a cold, snowy start here in the northwestern United States. Not quite all the way down there, but this is early October, negative P&A ridging out east, but that's going to change as we head towards mid-November, and there's just going to be kind of general ridging all across the United States. And actually, it looks to be a little more zonal as well. It could continue through November. This pattern is going to change, I believe, somewhere around December, around the first or second week of December. We're going to start to see more of an average of a neutral type winter pattern with colder northeastern United States and a warmer west. But nonetheless, I think this fall there's going to be a lot of warm air hanging around in the United States for the most part until that pattern changes. Why is that pattern changing? There's a lot of warm water out here. There's going to be a nice ridge that sets up across the western United States. That's what I'm forecasting for this winter. Not all the time, just for as an average. That's going to pinch some cold air up into Canada. That cold air is going to get locked and loaded and just kind of crash into the northern eastern part of the United States. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, but definitely below average temperatures. But again, you can check out my winter forecast for more details on that. But the moral of the story is there's just too much warm water out here. I don't think that heat's going to hang around all the way through the winter. I think you're going to start to get a neutral pattern that sets up. Cooler temperatures out here as well, indicating a neutral phased winter. And you can see, here's your Enzo. This is about a week old, but nonetheless, I think the last time I talked about this, we were down here and it was looking like everyone was talking about a La Nina, but I said this thing's going to jump a little bit back north, and surely enough it is. It's starting to look like just kind of a neutral winter. I think it's, if you look at the models, they're generally kind of in this area. It would not surprise me if it was a little bit cooler, so that we, in the winter and fall, we're going to be dealing with Enzo in the kind of the 0 to negative 0.2 range throughout much of the fall. But this pattern will probably start to kick in as we head towards December, around the first week or second week, and that's typically what you get. So expect this to happen in late fall, between the last couple of weeks of fall and the first week of winter, where you start to see this pattern set up. Warmer conditions out west, colder conditions out east, wetter in the southeast. It looks to be on tap. Well, again, we'll have updates on these. These are long-range forecasts. These things are always going to change. Everyone knows that. So again, you subscribe here, we'll definitely release updates on those as well. Now, I don't know what everyone else is forecasting, but I've heard that there's a lot of cold air coming this fall. Again, I think it's going to be a little bit warmer than average for the most part, at least for the first 2 months. I do agree on it becoming colder as we head towards December, especially for the east half of the United States. So again, if you're a snow lover, I wouldn't freak out too much about this warmth. This will start to change as we head towards December. So, all right, in the second half of these videos, I'm going to do something called a secret segment. In each of these segments, we're going to do something kind of different. So some segments will do fan weather photos and videos. So if you have any interesting natural phenomena photos, direct message me here, message me on YouTube, and we can showcase these if you want me to. I'll showcase them. So we'll talk about these natural phenomena, some cool weather events, stuff like that. We'll also have tutorials and some other random things as well in the second half of these videos each day. So we're going to kind of turn it more into a show here. So for now, I'm going to do a couple of my fall scenes that I've taken over the over the years. And so this first scene is a beautiful sunset photo here out in Nebraska. It's a beautiful scene. It looked like something out of a coloring book, something like someone painted or something. And the water was perfectly calm. We had vibrant, colorful rays shooting out of the atmosphere, out of the horizon here, and it was reflecting beautifully on the water. It was almost more colorful on the water. And then we had fiery clouds above there. So beautiful sunsets. When you get alto stratus and cirrostratus clouds and maybe some alto cumulus clouds, you can have really cool sunsets. So look out for those. When you get those to set up, around whenever sunset is for your area, you can bet that there could be a really nice sunset. So this next image was actually taken in late fall, early December, out in Nebraska. These auroras came down. It's a nice little train track here. Beautiful auroras. And sometimes Nebraska, Wisconsin, all those areas can get auroras. And we'll start doing forecasts for space weather as well. So if I see auroras coming, I'll alert you guys as well. These were beautiful. And they're kind of hard to see, but you definitely can still see them. This was through a camera that does well with night photography. I have actually seen them brighter than this too. So nonetheless, you can definitely see them all the way through the mid parts of the country, sometimes even the southern U.S. on rare events. This was during that the height of the solar cycle. So I think as we get towards the 2020s, we'll start to see more of these events again. Here's another image, late September. And this was in Nebraska as well. Beautiful lightning storm that set up This is looking at a lake, and then some lightning. And cloud to ground lightning strikes all over the place. And that was really close too. But nonetheless, beautiful lightning. Get these cloud to ground lightning strikes. These aren't very good to photograph, obviously, if you're right under the storm. So you have to wait for these things to pass. Sometimes you can get bolts from the blue that fly out of the storm. So you got to look out for those. But these are pretty intense lightning bolts. This is what's going to cause your vibration on the ground often and stuff like that. But definitely you can get some pretty good storms in September, again, across the central United States. Sometimes we'll get a second severe weather season. So I'll definitely be watching out for that. There's definitely some severe weather setups coming. Might be doing some chasing as well. So nonetheless, these are a couple of photos. I definitely have some more that I'll be sharing. But again, I want to see your guys' photos. If you are interested in being showcased on the channel, feel free to message me here on on YouTube. And we'll be able to post some at the end of the videos. Again, we'll do these a couple of days a week, and then we'll also do some weather forecasting tutorials as well, like the old weather decoded videos back in the day. We'll bring some of that back as well. So, again, comment below, where do you get your main source of weather info? I'm actually pretty curious to know where everyone gets their info at. And also, subscribe if you like these types of videos. We're going to be releasing them daily. We got live streams, weather forecasting tutorials, weather forecasts. Hit those bell notifications. Give that like button some love. And then check out this winter forecast that I did for this winter. This is my thoughts for the winter. So hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you soon.